Hi, everybody, and thank you for stopping by Living To Do's review of Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 3. And before I get started, I would please like to ask you to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance. Okay, let's get started. Before I talk about this season's couples, I want to send out a congratulations to a previous first or Married at First Sight couple, Brianna and Vincent. You guys remember them? They are expecting their first child, and I'm very happy for them. It's so exciting to see on our couples stay together and start a family. It's so beautiful. So congratulations to them. She looks very pregnant, so I guess that baby's coming soon. I wish them a healthy, happy, beautiful baby. Okay, so let's get started and let's talk about Mitch and Kristen. They're the ones who got married this episode. It looks like we were left off last week with each of them in their hotel rooms getting ready for the wedding, and Mitch got his bow tied, looks like by one of the staff, one of the producers or somebody on the staff, and they finally tied that bow tie for him, and he was appreciative of it. He said thank you, and I was happy to see him be kind to somebody, because this guy has a little temper. He did give a gift to Kristen, which was a plant, and it was cute. He mentioned something, I guess in a card or whatever, that they have a budding relationship, and that was very cute and thoughtful. So good for him on that. Kristen received her ring, which she was very excited to get, of course, who wouldn't be? And she commented on her previous engagement where her ex-fiance got a ring on a credit card, which is fine, but I guess he left the relationship. I don't know if it was a joint credit card. Somehow, some way, she was stuck paying off her own wedding ring. So Mitch is at the altar waiting for his bride to come down, and he sees this woman, a woman's wearing pink, and he questioned whether that was his wife or his bride, and they told him that that was the mother of the bride. Mitch seemed interested in his mother-in-law, because honestly they look more closer in age. Well, then again, Kristen looks kind of old for her age, and her mother looks nothing like her. She has like jet black hair, dark eyes. They don't even look related. But I guess with her father, I guess he's rather pale in comparison. They made Kristen. She looks, I don't know if she looks like her dad, but she looks nothing like her mother. Mitch waved at his mother-in-law. I just think he was more smitten with her. I think he liked what he saw in her. And I think it was the minister that told him that it wasn't his wife, or someone told him, but the minister or the officiant said, well, that's a good sign. Thinking the mother looks nice, that the bride must look even better. Kristen's dad. Now, he walked her down the aisle. He said he was going to walk her down. He was game for it. They all held us in suspense last week, but he was game. I think she should have just gone ahead and told him that she was getting married at first sight, because this poor guy was not dressed appropriately to attend anyone's wedding, unless it was, at the beach on the sand. He looked like it was, casual Friday or dress down Friday. He just looked more like that than attending his wedding, and to be in her photos looking so casual. I mean, it looked business casual, but it was not formal in any way. And it didn't look like wedding attire. So at the altar, Mitch, I think he asked Kristen if he could kiss her, and she was like, "We kissing." I thought that was cool. You never know if a guy thinks you're too forward like that. But they kissed. Um, and later, Mitch said that he wasn't attracted to his wife or to Kristen. He likes a more natural woman. He liked her more even when she just took her heels off. That made a difference for him. He likes natural. He doesn't like all the get up, all the wedding attire, all this mess and dressing up. He thinks it's too much and not necessary. But he said that he thought that she was voluptuous. And I'm thinking, where? I didn't think she was voluptuous, but okay. So good for him. And it was interesting on all the weddings that we saw so far. All the brides were cold. I know we're in California, Southern California, but San Diego is very coastal, and they were all needing something to put over their shoulders because it was cold. And Mitch asked for a jacket for Kristen, and he kind of shouted it out, and he told her, "I'm not embarrassed to cause a scene." I'm like, oh my God, red flag. If anything, he could have taken off his coat and given it to her. Be a gentleman. I guess he needs more practice at that. Their wedding cakes were weird looking. I think, yeah, he said something about it being something about one of those saving the planet type cakes or environmental cake or whatever, but I don't know if it was or not. But it didn't look like I would want to eat it. Kristen's mom sat down with Mitch at one point, and I thought she looked like Cher. She just looked like Cher to me. Looks nothing like her daughter. They had an interesting conversation. He didn't meet with the father, at least they didn't show it. So that was pretty much for them. I mean, all these weddings occurred, and honestly, I thought out of 3 episodes we've seen so far, this was the most boring of the episodes. I wasn't really feeling it. But that was all that I have for Kristen and Mitch. Oh, I want to see how they get along. And I should have started out with Ben and Morgan. The reason why, nothing happened. So that was the end. I guess they're going to get married next week. I hope so. And I don't know how they can play catch up at the wedding. And I'm not sure when they got married. All these couples got married, but I heard someone say that they're getting married next Saturday. So I don't know how many days after everybody else will Ben and Morgan be getting married. But there's nothing to say about them at all. That was it. Lindy and Miguel is next. They went out and had their first dance, and it was Mindy's first slow dance ever. And she told Miguel that, and he was patient with her. Out of all the wedding cakes, I thought theirs looked the best. And I should have played this back because I heard somebody tell Mindy, or in a conversation with Mindy, that Puerto Ricans are good in bed. For this real church girl growing up in really religious family and whatnot, they're the ones that always talk about a lot of sex. I guess she's liberated and free now. Lindy spoke with Miguel's sister after the wedding, and she was very talkative, and she's talked about what a terrible childhood they had. So she said, she should get the details from Miguel. I guess we'll get them all at the same time to find out how bad their life was, that he grew up to hold a doctorate in neuroscience. That's very impressive. His sister told Lindy that he needs effective communication. Be clear with him when you're talking to him about, I guess, their plans or what your thoughts are, your feelings are. Be clear in communicating with Miguel. Lindy's brother, Luke, so there's Luke and Lindy, Luke and the family talked to Miguel. It was mainly Luke speaking. He asked Miguel how he felt about religion and if he believed in a higher power. And Miguel was not really a fan of organized religion. He wasn't really into it. They really put him on the spot, and Luke thought it was important that a man that was going to be with his little sister have a love for the Lord. And I don't think Miguel's is disrespectful in that area. He's just not. It's just not something he's into, but he's very respectful. Later, after I guess towards the end of the night, Miguel took off Lindy's garter belt and he threw it, and Luke caught it. I guess he's not married, and so hopefully he'll be the next to get married in Lindy's family. Miguel was talking about, I guess he's talking to his friends, maybe, talking about how girls can be aggressive with him, I guess sexually. I don't know if he was kidding or not. And I'm thinking, if that's the case and they have to be aggressive with you, is that because you move too slow? You maybe need some effective communication going on to let each one know where they're at. Because to me, Mindy seems the one to be more interested in a sexual relationship at this point, more so than Miguel. I think he's going to let her take the lead on that. And I think that wasn't Lindy. That wasn't girls can be aggressive. I think that was actually Mitch that said that. And Mitch said he has performance anxiety. Sorry about that. That was Mitch that said that. And they retired to their rooms and nothing much more happened. So hopefully there'll be a lot more to talk about next week. There really ain't much going on. So let's go to the next couple. The next couple is Sasha and Nate. Now I believe that Pastor Cal might have meddled into this relationship because he talked Nate into thinking about being with an older woman. I think his age range was 27 to 32, but he wanted to boss ladies. He was saying things like that. And Pastor Cal's argument was, you're not going to get a boss lady at 27. So Nate, he increased his age range, and I guess that's why they were matched together, because I think he's about 32 and Sasha is 37. So he wasn't really into older women before, but I think it was Pastor Cal's doing that got him into thinking about that. Okay, so Nate had a comment about his wedding cake. He said it looked like concrete, and it did. It didn't look like it was something you should put in your mouth. I think it was gold. Was it trying to replicate gold? I mean, the whole thing gold. I could see some decorating gold, but it just didn't look edible. Sasha met with Nate's friends, and they brought up a question about how do you feel about his female friends. So this is they're trying to push this narrative that there is there might be an issue with female friends because it keeps coming up a lot. And at first, Sasha says as long as there's clear boundaries on his female friends, she doesn't have any problems with that. She just has to know what he thinks are boundaries and her boundaries, to have clear boundaries set up on female friends. And then Sasha and Nate were seen talking to Megan, Nate's female friend. And, she's only known Nate for 1 year. You would thought she was, some old high school friend, college friend or whatever. they've only known each other 1 year, and she was just talking about how they have game nights. They're really close friends. There's a friend group. They like to all watch the sunset, and that, maybe she was kind of asking, offering Sasha, to come along with them. No, Megan, you're the third wheel, not Sasha. To me, I just thought she was overstepping her boundaries. She should just let them get to know each other and let them fill each other out before you coming in. And she was just, I know maybe she was just being nice. It's just like, I think she needed to step back. They made it a point for her to talk to the couple by herself. And I don't think Sasha liked her energy and liked the closeness that she had with her husband, because she was like, oh, there's not going to be too many game nights, she said kind of under her breath. And I was like, Megan, read the room. This woman is not feeling you. And Sasha made a point to grab Nate's hand as they were talking to Megan. I was letting Megan know, back off, I think. But Megan's not really reading the room. I don't know. I thought she was a little too much. You can be friendly and say a few words and keep it moving. Just to fill out, what this is all going to be for, going forward as friends. And Nate was talking to his buddy friends, and they were asking, whether they're going to consummate the marriage in so many words. And he said something that his friend was saying, what is she, like missionary? If there's too much missionary going on, it's boring. He was kind of doing that kind of thing, like how that's boring or whatever. And Nate said that he would put her in the right position. I'm like, I don't know, Sasha. I am very interested to see how, once the newness wears off, or are you going to be about all this? Is he going to be too much for you? He is younger than you, and I don't know if he's finished sewing up his wild oats, but whatever. Okay, so the last couple is Alexis and Justin. Justin's brother had a hard time with the wedding, and he says that he thinks he's dealt with it. He thinks that his problem was this non-traditional marriage thing he wasn't into. He thinks his brother is ready for marriage now. It was him. He had a lot to get over. He's more of a traditional guy. He's a traditional guy with a non-traditional orange suspenders at a wedding. But I'm glad that he, made up with his brother, sent his brother off on his honeymoon, his new marriage, his new life. Good positive light. I hope, I'm sure there won't be any more friction or disagreement about that. I'm sure Justin is going to treat his wife just fine. I don't think I would be surprised if he didn't. So Alexis talks to Justin's friends, and she's asking about a cheat code, I guess, whenever, they get in a fight or whatever, or to get along with him better, to know something about him. And they asked her about her cheat code, and she says that he needs to get to her by any means necessary. And she gave an example of them not getting along, and she blocks him on her phone. Then he needs to send an email. If she doesn't read the email, he needs to send a message in the bottle. He needs to get to her somehow. So you want him to chase you, okay, apparently. Justin was dancing out on the floor. And I think this is when he was going to pull off her garter belt. And she was sitting in a chair, and he was doing all these dance moves, looking like Steve Urkel. And Alexis said, find the beat, find the beat. He is just long. He did all these dance moves, hikes up her dress, nestles his head in between her legs and finds that garter belt and pulls it down with his teeth. And he's just doing these dance moves on the floor. He was really feeling himself in. Wow. That was probably the most exciting thing I've seen all night at this episode. And there was talk, I think it was in the her confessional about consummating the marriage, and her friends were and also her friends were asking about, does she, wondering what type of, what she's getting, what's he working with. And in the confessional, she's I guess when somebody hinted that it might be huge, she was like, this is a designer vagina. And I was like, okay, elaborate on that. What do you mean by that? She was so tipsy, though. She was so tipsy. She was having a good time at their wedding. Later, they get back to their room, and they were talking, and they're talking about kids' names. And his name is Justin, wanted to name little girl Grace, and that was Alexis's middle name. But I think Alexis wants a boy, but he wants a girl because he wants a daddy's girl. Yeah, I can't imagine with a bunch of boys. But he has nephews and things. He's more of a daddy's girl. He's a girl dad for sure. Also in the confessional, Alexis says she's past the superficial stuff about him being 7 feet tall. I think she sees his heart, maybe, or she's had too much to drink, and I hope she doesn't wake up the next day and regrets it all. But Justin says that she makes him feel wanted, and that's what he wants. He just wants to be loved. You can see it all over him. He just wants to be loved unconditionally. And I don't know who doesn't want that, but some of us really need it, badly, and that's what he wants. And I hope that's what she can give him, because he can definitely give that to her. So Alexa's in the bathroom getting ready, and she's talking, I guess, kind of like a confessional, saying she doesn't know what might happen in the middle of the night, so she got to get cute. She had a little cute little outfit on. They jump into bed, and Justin had the audacity not to wear a shirt in bed. He should have put a shirt on. But they were all nestled together, kissing each other, and that was it for the rest of the episode. So hopefully next week we see where they're going on their honeymoon. I'm excited to find that out. And hopefully Ben and Morgan can get married and perhaps join them, or, get caught up with everybody else. But that's basically it for the show. Hopefully it will be more interesting next week, because it just isn't giving me much of anything. I'm really bored. This is usually the time I really like them to meet each other and get alone with each other and talk, and those first initial moments together. But I was kind of bored. But that's it for now. Please come back next week. I'll be back next week. Please like the video, comment. I welcome all comments, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it. Also on the channel, check out my other videos. I have travel videos and other TV and movie reviews as well. So please check that out. But as for now, that's it. I gotta go because I got living to do. Bye.